Agreed. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the third part here of Burning Crowns, Burning Real role playing game. So, yeah. So Sir Zidamir. But anyways, it's a third part, so we can jump around and do something else now. So let's see. Do we want to continue? Is there anything else we wanted to do in the tower?
Oh
Or
yeah,
I have one more
plenty.
thing. I have another thing before I leave.
that makes sense because all you did was literally leave the basement up here. So like, what was the thing you wanted to do?
I need to complete my second belief in regards to Mason before I leave for an unknown amount of time.
Should we have that scene like like just outside of the tower, like sitting on a rock or something, sharing some wine, having a talk?
I mean, yeah, I know that Aurelius is just going to get his stuff and leave. But he would talk to Mason first.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is a little awkward, right, between you two. It's a little tense.
I already said if Mason brings Zidomir into Aurelius's presence right now, bad things are going to happen.
Is he
So-
serving the
I'm not
wine?
I'm not gonna make Sidomir do anything, right? Like he I feel like he knows to avoid Aurelius, and so he
Exactly.
does.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about that.
All right.
But,
So you're
yeah.
heading back south.
Yeah, so I guess like maybe this takes place like at the end near the entrance to the tower or something.
Sure.
Yeah,
He's,
that makes
like,
sense.
Got his pack. He's still dressed in like traveling clothes and stuff. He never changed. So
We like every time we have a talk, we're playing this fucking strategy game Mason has. So why haven't we just opened that fucker out on a table and we're like having a game, like finishing off a game as you're like getting ready to leave?
sure. Mason, I don't know how long I will be gone. It is time for you to choose your boon. I made 2 offers.
Oh,
Which
you
would you
talked about
prefer?
that. That's true. Could you remind me what those were? It's been a while since we had that conversation.
Aurelius gives you a look about that. He says,
It's definitely not 2 sessions ago. It's definitely a month and a half ago.
I know, but like Aurelius
No, I know.
expects you to like remember that. And he's like, perhaps if you cannot remember the boons that were offered, how can I say whether you deserve them, Mason?
Oh, that's such a good question, though. I'm sorry, but no one but you can say if I deserve them.
As I said, I will either use my power to bring magic back into the fold via scripture, or I shall bless your sorcery.
I mean, that's not a choice for Mason. It's definitely the one that relies on the power of Aurelius the man and not the power of Abadar, because Abadar can suck it. So, yeah,
I want to be clear. Neither of these are Aurelius the man. The whole point of the boon was he's acting as the hand of Abadar. You protect him.
Sure, but that's not how Mason sees it, right? Like, Abadar can call down pillars of fire from the heavens and be a god and get fucked. Whereas you, Aurelius, the prophet, the person, has the power to change scripture because that's what you want. And so that is what, like, in Mason's mind is like, yes, that's the thing that's going to happen. But I look to you when you say that and I say, that's an interesting suggestion. You say bring into the fold. That sounds very much like something I would very, very keenly want for myself and others like me. But maybe we should make sure we understand what it is we want. I should understand what it is you're offering, and maybe you should understand what it is I'm asking for, and that way we can see if you are willing to grant that.
I'm afraid this isn't exactly a negotiation, Mason. I will not have a non-believer dictate scripture to me.
That's funny you should say that. That's almost exactly what I was going to say. You see, what I would really want, what I would truly want for myself and for the world, is that non-believers do not dictate scripture to prophets. It is that lords do not demand magic of sorcerers. It is that people do not call on the gifted to bend the knee and to harass them with authority and with lordship and with bullshit. Because
Mason,
you know, just as you would not have a non-believer call upon the power vested in you, none but those who have carried the burden of sorcery should pronounce its use.
I'm afraid, Mason, that you are not dealing with Aurelius the man in this. You are dealing with the hand of God. This is not
there is a small smirk on Mason's face when you say that, but it's quickly suffocated.
The scripture will be as I dictate. I have given you an option. If it is not sufficient, choose the other.
If you think that if the extent of your boon is that I have you write something in your book that you were going to write your way anyway, then that is not truly a gift, is it? It is just you doing what you were going to do.
I'm sorry if you don't see it as a gift.
I'm going to try to twist you here. I want to persuade you if you think you're open to it. Like is this something you think Aurelius would be swayed by?
No.
You don't think so?
You're literally trying to persuade him to let you dictate scripture to him.
I mean, I am definitely, that's what I'm doing, but I'm trying to do it by leveraging like his own words against it, right? Like, I'm giving you a gift. You may have me write scripture that I was going to write anyway.
But that's not what he was doing. Basically, what he's saying is that he's going to use he is not going to write the scripture unless you ask him to. He's not going to try to spend political and religious capital trying to convince the Church of Abadar that sorcery is not outside of is not like something to be reviled and feared.
Yeah.
If you don't care about that. And
so go on.
But he's not gonna like just let you decide what the boon is. That was why he offered you two options.
So I think what like just to follow up on that, Mason says, to my knowledge, there is no animosity in the scripture of Abadar towards the practices of Nathesians. Surely there would be no need for such an addition if it weren't for something more appropriate.
Mason,
and yeah, I want to.
You alter the deal in every word.
Yes.
I am not feeling very magnanimous at this point. I just had
I understand.
My blessing thrown into my face by a man who I had thought I could count as an ally.
We often find that the weirdest people can be our allies.
If you do not want the boon that I have offered, choose the latter. Otherwise, don't choose either.
Right.
It's not my choice what you do with the boon.
Are we in a spot where we can throw dice at each other? Or I can throw dice at you?
To convince.
You're trying to convince him to change the deal, and he's not having it.
So, I mean,
you need to do something better than just be like, oh, well, that's not really a boon, because he sees it as a boon. So then that's why he offered you two options. Like,
yeah, I guess, but my argumentation is not the extent of Mason's, right? Like I'm like trying to like show my angle on this, but I would like it to move to a place where we can just settle it with a die trick to not like take up too much time with the conversation. But that depends entirely on you, right? Like, is that a thing?
What I'm saying is that your argument is entirely not capable of convincing Aurelius. So either you're going to have to change the argument and make and do something that is going to convince Aurelius, or it's not going to work. You just being like, oh, well, that's not really a boon to me. That's why he offered you two options.
Sure. So what about the argument that like the comparative argument, right? Like the power of Abadar should not be wielded by a non-believer who has not been vested with it by Abadar. So too should no man hold sway over how sorcery is used, but those to carry the burden. Like is that an angle I can work for relatability?
I mean, I feel like I just answered that. Like, your argument is entirely unconvincing to him. It's not about what, like, it's not about what you want to change the scripture to. It's about the fact that as the Hand of Abadar, he offered you two options, and he is going to let you pick one of those two, not a third. So the argument has to be about why a third option should be available. That's not what it's about.
All right. So I guess that's fine then. So Mason looks to you and says, "So, what do you propose the scripture would be?"
I mean, didn't he already say that?
No. So, like there is no precept in the scriptures of Abadar that pronounce hostility towards the gifted.
And so yet, his church acts in that way. I will assure it does not. I mean, you've seen like the way that Abadarian church treats you.
Yeah, but it's not been with like hostility. It didn't
let you into the church.
I was let in. I was just asked if I could go out again. But yeah, I get you. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if you want to throw dice against me, I'm gonna like respond by saying you have no business dictating scripture to me. Choose the other option. It's I'm just going to sway you, right?
All right.
But I still haven't really heard anything that would be in any way convincing to Aurelius that you should be able to just dictate a third option to him.
So your argument here is, hello? Okay, yeah. So your argument here is the boon you offer is I will change scripture so as to make the church not hostile to the gifted. I will make them receptive of them.
Correct.
Sweet. All right, yeah, I think Mason will just take that if you're okay with not being challenged on that belief. I mean, I feel like I offered you challenge, but you didn't push back. If that's.
I mean, you offered me challenge, but you haven't. I'm not going to just let you roll dice for an argument that would not persuade the character.
That's fine.
So either you can. I'm giving you an opportunity. You can change the argument to something that might persuade him, or you can.
Yeah.
Right. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah. So what exactly? So in other words, what you're saying is that there is an opportunity that could be persuaded, but the path you're going down is not one of those ways. So I guess the option here is that maybe you should tell us what is a viable avenue, and then have whether or not and see if Mason wants to pursue that.
That's right? A good way of doing it.
I feel like that's probably the best way of doing it, instead of like us continuing to throw philosophical darts at the board and being like, okay, that will work, right? What would it take to convince you? What would it take to convince?
I mean, you would have to convince him that the service.
Way.
You would have to convince him that the service that you rendered is greater than the boons he's offering.
All right. So, would it be sufficient to call back to the sensation we shared when we cured Natala?
How do you mean?
When we double teamed the demon, the devil out of Natala with a combination of faith and magic.
Right. So like the avenue that I can see that would be able to convince him would be to be like, you couldn't have gotten rid of that demon without me. You couldn't have performed the miracle without me. Like that deserves a greater boon than you're offering. That's the avenue I can think of.
You guys have done a lot now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we have.
It's about time for a trait vote.
Sorry.
Then in that case, like without me taking up forever doing it, let's be like, so I'm headed that way. Like, so just as well as I do, the extent of the powers the two of us hold. We cannot pretend to be like others. There is too much going on. Together we save the kingdom. You must understand that when I ask you of this, it is not for nothing. It's because there is a gap in the doctrine that really should be filled. And I would not encroach on the offer you're making me. I would not throw your generosity by the wayside, but rather I would seek to help you in the help you seek to extend me. That's my argument.
That's the same argument that you made before.
But it's down the avenue you just said.
I mean, all right, I'll let you throw the dice just because I'm bored of going back and forth. Aurelius is just going to look at you and say, were you speaking to the man Demetrius Antonin Lucian Arsini Sertova? Were you speaking to the man Aurelius the Prophet? Dictating what your boon would be appropriate. You are speaking to the Vicar of Abadar. Abadar has offered a deal to which you agreed in the past. You shall not alter the deal, for that would be a grave desecration of his offer.
People bargain with the gods all the time. Whether they're kneeling by the bedside, looking at the starry skies, or whether they're looking at the sword of an opponent approaching. People strike bargains with the greater divines all the time. And I say that with a kind of like nonchalant irreverence that makes it clear that I'm not diminishing your words. I'm just coming at this from the angle of the obviously unenlightened. But still, like my argument presses on.
So I'll respond and then we can roll dice. Hold on. Let's see. Edwin the monk once said, "A deal once made is holy in the eyes of the Lord, and it should not be altered lightly."
Indeed.
You made a deal with the divine already. You have had your time to bargain. Now, months later, you have a decision. Not an argument, not a bargain, but a decision.
Cool. So, what's your will?
I'm rolling against you.
I don't think you are. What are you rolling?
I've been trying to roll suasion. I mean, I'm making the entire argument is that you can't talk me. Like, you don't get to change the deal. That's
but that's just
a desecration of the deal.
But that's not you making a roll. That's just me testing. Like you have the stance, right? You're being like, your stance is no, it's gonna be as it is.
I have an intent here. My intent is for you to see that it endangers both of our souls to change this deal. Look, I get that you just want to roll against my will, but I'm sorry. Like,
weak. But
I
okay.
made a counter argument. So
I'm going with Sam on this one for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. You do. Oh god, I don't agree. But let's do it because we've already taken up too much time doing this.
Yeah.
So
all right. So like, guys, actually, I don't want to share this with you real quick because like this is something that I'm just thinking about right now. This is going on, right? Like you guys, like we spent 10 more minutes talking about this and what's going to happen with no roll happening. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like because I didn't want to interrupt roleplay because I like that. We should like as a hard and fast rule, like 1 or 2 minutes of roleplay, and if that's not getting anywhere, if that's not pushing to a move, like if that's not pushing us to a roll, or we don't see where this is going, then I'm gonna probably step in and like, or you can expect me to step in, at
should
any
be the
point
case.
and being like, what are we doing here, right? And moving
Definitely.
forward. Okay.
I
feel
would
like
want
I'm
that.
gonna do that from now on as like a lifeguard. I'm like a editorial lifeguard. All right, cool. Okay, that's
Sweet.
Cool. All right, so final say here. So yeah, you want that third way.
Yep. I don't like. Am I rolling? I can see 2 ways I'm rolling this. I feel like I'm either rolling with persuasion. 3 ways: persuasion, rhetoric, or haggling.
this feels like either haggling or persuasion to me.
All right.
I think it's persuasion, right? It's got to be. Yeah. Haggling is very specifically about negotiating resources.
Persuasion seems right. So I think I'm rolling persuasion because I'm trying to say that you're trying to desecrate a bargain with the divine.
Right. I feel like I'm definitely forking haggling for my approach here.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
I am also forking rhetoric.
AP, you're good. Are you good, by the way? I know you're quiet and just hanging out. Just want to make sure.
Am I forking something else? Let's fork astrology. Fuck it. Let's fork astrology.
Don't you need to say something astrological in your argument?
Oh, there is definitely something astrological that has to happen here. I think it's...
On the third moon of Venus passing over the zenith of the lunar eclipse,
precisely,
deals may be rewritten, so it is said by the stars.
Exactly what AP said. Also, Aurelius is a Pisces. I don't know that you know this, but this is a good day for this kind of stuff. So
Literally, the horoscope in Pisces, it just says betray everything you believe.
Yep.
Today's the day where God lets you off.
And I would so love to like do more with ferocity here, but I don't feel, maybe not, maybe because I'm just doing this to challenge your belief, right? So let's just make it.
No, keep calling on ferocity. I mean, what do you want to end the session with? B5, B6, B7? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you've already gotten like 5 or 6 tests that I can think of based on the passive list, so.
All right, let's do this then. So I think that's my modifiers then, is 4 modifiers. Do we spend Arthur? Do I do ferocity? I need your input. Do we dragon or do we not dragon?
It's up to you, but it
It's up-
definitely changes the situation pretty drastically if you're trying to use the fact that you're a magical dragon to convince the prophet of something.
Yeah, I didn't think you were.
Not like you
It
very
didn't
much.
seem like at
No,
all
it-
you were.
It's not that. I don't
But
feel
it's
like I
your
don't
judgment,
feel
so-
like I'm in a position to do it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think you were.
No. Let's just roll it as it is.
All right,
So whoop.
so I need to make my pool.
Oh, look at those 6s. Fades.
But you lose 1 success for your wound.
Well, one of those 6s automatically because that's your astrology die, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right. All
it
right.
doesn't matter either way you re-rolled it. So
Yeah.
you get 2 more successes.
Yes.
Okay,
right.
so I'm using Suasion. I would like to fork in Ugly Truth because you're putting us both at risk here. I would like to fork Persuasion. I would like to fork Abadar Wise. I would like to fork Civilization Wise. Doctrine.
Civilization wise, though.
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, the entire argument is about bringing sorcery into the fold and recognizing
You know what?
civilized. So, and then the stretch would be composition because it's all about what I'm gonna write.
I'm jazzed for this. Anyone else jazzed for this? Do it.
All right. And then I would also like to lobby for an advantage die because I'm literally the prophet saying, "Don't dictate scripture to me."
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was waiting. I've been patiently waiting for you to be like, "What?" This is
Okay, so
I like this. I like that a lot. Of course, you're like, yeah. I think.
all right.
So you don't want to ask
I will
Abadar real
reroll
quick
that
to open in
6.
that?
No, I'll just reroll
Oh
it.
shit! Oh shit!
All right,
What the
so I
fuck
got
is
10
happening?
successes. You lose 1 success, so you got 5, 6, 7 against my 10.
Yep. Not enough.
I don't.
Your wound makes you lose 1 because you're rolling against ob 1 instead of ob 0, essentially.
That modifier of 7, though. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, you listed all those
I
out.
listed all my forks.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Persuasion, Ugly Truth, Composition, Civilization-wise, Ambition-wise, Abadar-wise, Doctrine. Actually, I should have had 8 for the advantage.
All right. That's hella over forking in my opinion, but I'm okay with it.
I mean, this is like when Swan sits down and talks to you about economics. You're talking about a guy who literally
You're in
created
his house.
character
You're in
to
his
be-
house.
Yeah,
This is his.
But it's okay. So cool. So yeah, the deal is as it is. And I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, you might have a point there. I would not dictate scripture to the prophet. It seems rude, especially since I don't care about.
This entire conversation has been rude, Mason. I'm in a terribly bad mood at this point. So let's go ahead and leave as friends. I still
seems like
need
it.
your help on the
Seems
wall
like-
to come.
You have safe travels now, and yeah, I will take your inclusion of others like me in. Could you please strike us from the church's shit list?
But of course, don't forget the promise that you made to me when we first met, Mason.
That's the thing about me,
still will
Aurelius. I don't forget.
I still will have need of you. The darkness is coming. And then he heads off into the
Sweet.
wilderness.
All right. Do you need anything before you leave?
Let me see. I don't think so. I mean, he has traveling gear. No, I completed my beliefs that have to do with this place. So.
All right. Well, in that case, it's like a weird half hug. I'm trying to not poke your eyes out. And then have a nice one. And
you succeeded in pissing off Aurelius quite a bit in that entire conversation, but he's going to try to look past it.
Please inform Swan that I will be returning as soon as I'm able.
My brother is a proud man, something that you share between the two of you.
It's true.
You should seek to reconcile. We can talk more on it when you return.
I smile after you and like wave and bye. Then I turn back into the tower. And I have some stuff I want to do there.
Yeah, specifically find your first belief.
No, actually I wanted to start with the third. Because it strikes me that walking around seeking through stuff in the tower would be easier if the security measures weren't trying to kill me. So I want to go for the third one first, and then the first one.
Fair. Let's do it that way. Okay. So I don't think it... So let's see. Let's get... We have to get you to the place you need to get to in order to disable this thing.
Yep.
So you need to get there without getting in trouble. Right.
Well, I'm okay with getting in trouble on the way. I just need to get there.
Okay. Then let's... Okay, then we're going to have another one of those speed versus agility things, right? You're okay with getting in trouble?
I mean, I want to avoid it. What I'm saying is if I have to make a roll and the complication is there is something wrong that you need to deal with, then that's fine.
Yes. So obviously you need to get to this place without triggering any sort of extra traps around to get to the control spot, essentially, of this tower, which is below ground.
I want to find out what that is, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to get there.
Yep. First intent is get there.
Yeah.
Get to the important spot where I can make this make this belief happen.
And see, the thing is that I'm not sure if this probably isn't stealthy so much as what are you doing to avoid traps? Is that observation?
That depends on
scouting.
The method. Okay. I would say I'm trying to just see them in advance and avoid them.
So observation. Right? Or are you saying perception then?
I think just perception. Unless the traps are like trying to hide from me.
No.
Well, no, that's how traps work, though. Like, presumably they didn't build the traps so that they were easy to see. Presumably the trap maker made them so that they are hidden.
Yeah, but that's so if you read the Adventure Burner, it's not opposed by observation, it's just opposed by perception. Observation is for people being inconspicuous or stealthy against you.
Is this a perception? Is this versus the obstacle of the trap maker, or is this a fixed ob?
Fixed ob based on how difficult you say they are. And just to make sure that I'm right about this, I'm just gonna take a quick look.
I'm looking it up, don't worry.
Pretty sure it's 3.
All right. Let's do this then. So 3. I would like to take advantage for working carefully. So 1 extra die. And I would love it to... Can I get help from Sidomir? As like 2 pairs of eyes are better than 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Do I have anything else I could do? Just making sure. Secrets-wise? Secrets-wise to...
you can't flick into perception.
That's a good point. But I don't want to. Yeah,
no,
that's
but
fine.
You can get help, so...
Yes, I would do that. Let's roll perception.
Ob 3.
Yep.
Failure is trouble.
Yep, totally. Oh, also, is this something that would be affected by my sight? Like, for me having keen eyesight?
Yeah, right, because you're spotting something?
Isn't that, it's a specific die trait. It says exactly
Yeah, it's keen sight. Keen sight, it gives +1 die on perception-based tests to see shit over a distance. which is what I'm trying to do.
Not over distance. That's for
Alright.
what are your elven? That's literally what your elven eyes see, right?
Okay, cool. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So that's not.
I guess tap a bit of persona here. Let's put a persona point into this.
Cool.
And let's roll versus up 3.
Nice.
Wow. What? Okay.
Your dice have been insane today. Also, look at all those
okay
sixes.
with this.
That's
Let's
crazy.
save that. Sweet.
I mean, that wasn't a difficult perception, right? So you don't mark advancement. I just want to make sure with the op 4.
That
I
is
don't think
completely
so.
correct.
I don't think that's a difficult. I think that's still.
It's not.
Yeah, I think.
It's
I
just
think.
routine.
I think 5 is. I think 5 is difficult, right?
Yeah. No.
It's
If up 4, 5 would be challenging, and up 4 would be difficult, and up 3 would also be difficult.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said
Sorry,
I said routine.
dice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
routine, difficult, challenging. Instead, I'm sorry, and you only had advancement. I meant to say difficult when I said routine. I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
right. I knew that was like the threshold right before you actually get experience. I just said the wrong word. Thank you. Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
so
cool.
I'm not finding traps
that's
in
fine.
the Codex Adventure Burner.
So you're able to. So in other words, so right now you're totally fine. You bypass the traps, right, and you get to the council. I guess would be the console room.
Yep.
Of this place.
If possible, I would
think of us.
go on,
So
you
sorry,
first.
just in terms of what I wanted to describe as like aesthetics of this room and things like that, I very much think of this as like is the interior ship of the thing in Prometheus. If that helps.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. I imagine a very large, kind of like weird H.R. Giger, like panels. It's
Okay.
not, yeah, it's very, very like old. And also it's like it's giant, right? So like you have to like almost climb. You actually do have to like climb up there with it, not relying on a roll to kind of get to the top of where this thing is controlled by.
Sweet. So
But yeah, there's a low hum.
can I spend the leftover successes on this test to like propel myself into the oncoming situation by having an idea of what I'm supposed to do here to engage my belief? Like once I'm in the control room, I then see some pillars with runic script on them, or some crisscrossing laser
So
beams
there's
of magic.
right.
or-
There's a raised. So like I said, so in the middle there's like this gigantic raised pedestal, but that seems to be like the part that has most of the controls to it. However, with your keen eyes and observation, you see that there are other like there's like a quasi map, right? I'm giving this also because of your secret wise without necessarily a roll. There's a
Much
quasi
obliged.
map of other power sources, and you're seeing the Candlemere is lit up. You also see that there are a couple other places. You see some place where the Gnarl March is lit up. The battery, remember that hidden spot. There's a couple, but there's some further other ones in the Stolen Lands that are also around, and
mental
one
note
of them
immediately.
Yeah, one of them. So like, while some of them have like maybe like yellow lights on them, one of them is red, and this is the one off to the east. I forget what it's called. I think it's not the Wyvern Tors. It has another name.
Yeah.
The Tors and Levies. The Tors and Levies or something is what I think is what it's called.
Lebanese, yeah.
Yeah. It's coming from over there. It's blinking red.
Cool. Is that different to the others?
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, the rest of them are yellow. That one is blinking red. And
is there an indication of what that significance is?
no.
All right.
No, there's not even any symbols along with them.
All right. I will hopefully decode that later. But now, first and foremost, in this room, I would like to. My intent, I'm going to talk intent first, then we can talk task afterwards. My intent is to take control of the interior magics in the tower in such a sense that I de facto become the owner of the place, right? The security doesn't target me. I can target the security to whom I want, if that is like a thing. I want to make this tower mine. And yeah.
That I feel like that would take a lot of time.
Yes, probably would.
Probably also really hard.
Yeah.
Yes, probably very hard.
So do you want to make this as a series of like one roll, and then over time it becomes yours, or how do you see this, or a series of like almost like like quarterly tests or monthly tests, or
That depends to me about like on how you want to roll, because I can see it being like we could break it down into smaller tests and be like,
Right,
if
right.
you engage the
you
crystal,
get
in the
access
top,
to this
then
floor,
it's
like, or
yeah,
you get
like-
this piece, or if
Yeah,
you want
I
to do
mean,
one
like-
fell swoop.
precisely.
And then just say that it
I-
takes months of you like learning the language of this place and that kind of stuff, right? So it's totally up to you how
Yeah.
you want to do it.
I would rather go for the option that is the swifter in terms of the show, right? So I would rather go for like a harder, like a more direct test. Ideally, trying to brute force it, like seeing if I can like can I fucking like just bully whatever magical sentience is in this tower, like to just give up? Can I give it a mind wedgie and be like, no, you belong to me?
Yeah, but you need something to do it.
All right, cool.
And I know what you need, but I don't know if you know what you need is the problem.
All right.
So
that's where
secret-wise,
we start
right?
then.
let's start with do you know the thing that you need in order to do what you set out to do in the way that you just described is the question.
All right.
Because there's other ways of skinning this cat, right? But the way that you're thinking of like overriding it is that you're going to need basically a key in essence to override it. And
I think that the way I should do this, because secret-wise could be appropriate, but it also feels like it's about it might not be the best one here. I think the way that is the best way to do this, in my opinion, would be that Mason reads the magical scripture in this room, like the things that is plastered on the walls and on the floor and on the ceiling and on the pillars, and comes to understand through the significance of this magical writing what it is that needs doing. Right? Like basically, I read the manual.
Yeah, okay, so then is that read? Like literally read or obscure?
Hold on though. If I was building a tower filled with traps, why would I have the instruction manual for how to disarm all of the traps and take my tower written next to the traps?
Yeah, I was being
they're not.
I,
You're in the
I was being colorful, right?
Yeah.
Like by saying I want to read the manual. I'm in the control room. I just want to understand the controls. And since this is like this would be reading magic, right? Which is what sorcery is.
Oh, so you're asking for it to be a sorcery test instead. That I'm not exactly sold on.
All right. What do you think? What is reading magic then? Because that is also what sorcery is. So.
Well, I mean, I was kind of just thinking it would be a read test of a language you don't have, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Or symbols,
if it's
maybe
if it's
even.
not magical, then sure.
Well, these are instructions. I don't feel like the instructions themselves are magical.
All right.
So this might actually be a symbology test.
Oh, I could do symbology.
Right, because you're trying to like ape the Cyclopean.
Yep,
symbols
I'm hella
here.
into that. What is
Well,
understanding the
if
significance
it's
of them.
just language and not like actual symbol. Like if it's literally just like writing
It's a
in
language.
Cyclopean, then it's just ancient language.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh.
foreign language probably.
That's a good call.
All right, then foreign language. Yeah, thank you. See, that's what I need to know. Okay.
Foreign or ancient? It's probably ancient.
Is there?
language.
Wait.
Really
Or
hard.
did Luke make literally two different skills for this?
No,
What do you
it's
mean?
foreign language, but it's way harder when it's an ancient language.
Right. Obstacles here. Yeah, it's a mystical esoteric language. Ob 5.
Oh my god.
It's probably ancient languages.
No, it's esoteric for sure.
Yeah,
Cyclopean. So, like, to be clear,
Yeah.
Cyclopean stuff. This predates elves.
So and that's why I'm saying it's probably ancient.
Well,
But
ancient
there
isn't
isn't-
in the list. Ancient.
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
mystical
yeah, it is.
or esoteric.
Ancient languages is a skill in the game.
Oh, really?
That's what I'm saying. Like, so Luke
two
literally
different
made. There's two
skills?
different
What the
skills
fuck?
for this. All right, thanks. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, they totally are two different skills. What
Oh,
do
but
you know?
it's the exact same op.
Use the,
Yes.
use the mechanics for foreign language.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it's the same op.
So it's ancient
Yep.
languages. No, but that's fair. It's an ancient language. Let's see. It's an ancient language. It's not just obscure, and it's not a bastardization of your tongue. It's also not a simple language. It's a okay. So you're saying are you arguing it should be an ob 4 instead of an ob 5?
I don't know what the op should be.
What? Well, do you know the language of giants?
No, I don't.
Well then, nope. I really feel like this is esoteric. This would be like Latin for giants. So no way.
All right, let's do it. What's the op?
Yeah, that makes
5.
it ob 5.
Yeah. So let's talk about the consequences of failure here, right?
Yep.
So let's see. What would be more interesting? So your belief here is to gain control of this tower, right?
Yeah.
Obviously,
my intent here,
me as a GM, the thing that I'm thinking of is turning that move back at you, and I'm just going inside Eric's head and being like, how does the tower get control of you? Is like where my head goes. But I'm also interested in
a
other
soul box.
I'm interested in other ideas. Okay, that would be really bad.
I think
but that would be kind of.
It's the adventure of Zydomir having to rescue Mason.
I like.
What if Zydomir's stuck in a soul box? I don't want to fridge. I don't want to fridge your friend after doing that though. So I don't feel like that's the way to do it.
I like the idea of failing forward here. I like the idea that if I succeed on this, then I either can decode the symbols, but they show me something inconvenient. So it's like, like a test leads into a test. You have to do another thing to be able to try to get to do that thing you intended, right? So it leads to something else.
But then what does that look like?
Switch that's somewhere else, right?
So failure. Okay, so failure makes this more complicated than gaining mastery here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is.
So remember what you said, right? This isn't me trying to get hold of the tower, right? You said there is a test here to do before that.
Okay, so then the failure state here is that is the thing that you need to get more difficult, or is the thing that you need to get? Are you wrong about the thing you got to get, or
I don't know?
Being wrong difficult is not really. That's just like if you're thinking about it as a link test, right? So it needs to be something more than.
Let me lay it out. How about this, guys? How about this? Hold on. Okay, I got. Okay, so this is what success is. All right. So success knows that you need to get a piece of a meteorite. You need a star stone.
Okay.
In order to get this working.
And sorry, did you say that was success? Because that sounds like failure.
No, that's what success is a required. So in order to override the system and make it yours, you're ultimately going to need, like, basically that's sort of like the reset chip.
I have an amazing consequence for
right?
failure,
Like, listen, they're all about astrological. This place is literally an observatory. Of course, it's going to need a piece of a meteorite to make this thing work, right?
Okay.
But the problem here is that I don't know what failure looks like then.
I have an amazing one, but I don't know that it's fair at all.
Well, we're brainstorming. So what is it?
So it would be that Mason knows that the only recorded meteorite in Brevoy is owned by House Swan.
It's the crystal cave that Swan talked about earlier.
Yes. That's so mean.
Actually, that's so really. That would be pretty good. That's pretty.
Yes.
I mean, I'm okay with this, but in that case, what is success?
I mean, I feel like that is success, right?
So that's what you're describing success. You're saying, if I succeed, I know I need to get the MacGuffin. If I fail, I know to get the MacGuffin, and I also know where it is, and it's in the hand of a guy I know personally, and it's in the hands of a guy. That's not failure. That's success.
Yeah,
that thing you're describing now is success.
What I would say success would be is that you know that you need a meteorite, and there's one in the tower. Like,
that would be success. Yeah, if I know you need to get the meteorite on the top floor.
Your only option is to go back to Swan. His family treasure.
Okay.
I think that's okay.
Good. It's here. It's in the building. Failure is that you need to go ask Swan for one. Okay,
sure. My one gripe with this is that it extends the time by a lot, which is not a bad thing generally speaking, but to the pace of the game, it might be detrimental. So I don't know how you feel about that, but that would be my consideration if I was the GM here.
I'm cool with it. Proceed.
Okay, cool.
I really hope you fail this test.
Eric's like, engage.
I really hope. I really hope you fail this test because I'm super excited and having to have that conversation.
You want my secret family meteorite? That's our cool cult cave that we go to.
I shall work.
This was my father's meteorite.
This is where we go to learn anti-magical sorcery training in this secret cave.
Which is literally just like talking about it. So I shall work carefully. Modifier of 1. I shall absolutely engage my ferocity to gain access of this like trove of magic. Definitely. So I will spend another persona. This is the second one today. This is the third one today. God, fuck it. And add my ferocity to this. And up 5. So it's technically up 10, but I'm still gonna roll versus 5. No. Okay.
2 6s though.
Yep. Let's see.
Maybe they'll explode 6 times.
Maybe they will. No, unfortunately, not enough.
Not enough.
So yeah, that thing.
So the meteorite.
happens.
So you know it involves the meteorite. Unfortunately, the meteorite here is basically spent of its properties and power. So you need another one.
All right. Cool. Can I circumvent that?
Yes, of course you can.
Okay.
You can basically. I feel like this might be a source. This would probably be a sorcery test using the old meteorite in the panel, being like, "Fuck you, work," you know, like.
No.
But I have to. It's like I have to joust
sacrifice Cytomir to power it.
I mean, that's blood magic, which is a thing I can do anyway.
Cytomir.
I mean, is it? We haven't really talked about if any of those magic systems are in our game, but
I mean, I think it's implied by Swan being scared of blood magic and having talked a lot about it. That it's
Swan is
there.
an idiot.
It's true. It's
Swan
true.
literally believes that summoning is blood magic because you sacrifice people's bodies and souls to do it. So
yeah, I mean, it's also kind of what it is. But you know, in fairness to you, you're completely correct about Swan. Sorry. Yeah, I would love that. So if I try,
Mason is way bigger of an idiot.
Oh yeah,
we don't need to compare.
No,
sacrifice Cytomir. I'm just saying that's a great way to power up this stone.
Here's my suggestion. If I use a new meteorite, it would just work, right? The sentience that occupies this tower that is like intruders, pow. That thing would be like, no, okay, new meteorite, fine, we reset factory conditions. Who are you? Okay, you're the master. But with this spent thing, I have to like contend with the sentience that is already here, right? It's not being like, oh yeah, you're totally in charge. It's gonna be like, you're a foreign intrusion, and you and I are gonna throw down.
Okay.
Is that like? Does that sound like a good
failure?
Like a good reason for me to be allowed to do this test with a dysfunctional meteorite?
Yeah, like it's going to. Yeah.
All right. So I feel like what I want to do then is I want to use the dysfunctional meteorite, and I want to just. Like, I want to, as I said, actually, I'm going to do the exact thing I jokingly said before. I am going to, like, mentally bully the tower into, like, surrendering. I'm going to engage in a contest of wills. I'm going to try and step on it and be like, no, you shut up and obey. That is what I want to do. I want to dominate this thing with my mind.
Sure. We can try that.
I have a counterpoint. Doesn't this thing have, like, gray shaded will? Can you
Hopefully,
even attempt this?
I can definitely attempt it no matter what its shade is, but hopefully it doesn't have gray shaded will because it's just a VI sentience.
Supernatural creature.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's shade shifted.
Even the lowest level demon has gray shade will.
Yeah, but the lowest level demon is also hella crazy willful. Right, like giants don't have gray shade will, and nor does most other supernatural creatures. Some supernatural creatures do.
All right.
The chapter where gray shade is talked about is literally called Heroic Supernatural.
What I feel like, and this is only Eric's decision, right? I feel like what Eric described when he talked about this sentience in the tower a session or two ago was like, this isn't like an AI. This is more like a VI. This is like rudimentary magic, like sentience, right? So I feel like it's actually not like, it might be okay, like, and on like a certain level, but it's not crazy high, and it's probably not shade shifted.
This is just
it might be shade shifted.
Exactly.
I mean, I've already expressed my reticence about even letting people roll sorcery without spells, but I mean, we won't rehash that argument.
I don't feel like so. Yeah, this is probably not sorcery, right? Due to the way I described this. This is probably just a will test.
Of just will versus will.
I feel like that's what it is. Like, because it doesn't feel like what I'm doing is sorcery. It's definitely magical in nature, but it's not that I am employing spell
Okay,
casting.
so let me
to
ask
do
you a
it.
question. Could Swan do this then? Could Swan walk up and force the tower to submit?
I
No,
feel
but he's
like,
not fictionally
willing
positioned to
at
do
hard
it, though, right?
I feel like you could if
I mean,
Swan
the
was
fictional positioning here is literally magic, right?
I feel like you could do it if you were gifted, had
Right.
second sight, and had a meteor shot.
So if I had sorcery, basically, I'd be able to do this. What you're saying is the entire test revolves around the ability to do sorcery.
No, what I'm saying is like you probably couldn't interrupt with interrupt the magic if you weren't able to like produce magic.
It sounds
I
like you're
don't know.
fishing for a will test to me.
I am, but that's because I feel like it's what's appropriate. Right. That's it. I could do sorcery.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to me.
I think it's a
but
will.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it was too. But
Sure.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, if it's just a straight will test, that seems fine. But I don't know. I've already made myself clear on what I think about how this is playing out. So
am I throwing against an obstacle, or are we throwing down in the versus here?
I figure this would be a fixed obstacle. I think this is a 4.
Okay.
doesn't that feel a little? All right.
Does that feel too low?
It does a bit. Maybe it maybe this should. If it's gonna be a set obstacle, it's gonna be a standard test. Maybe 5 or maybe higher because.
Oh, you know what?
I come at it from
wait. It's a
shitty
disadvantage.
perspective.
No, that makes sense. You're in a disadvantage because you have a shitty meteorite, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure. Okay.
Also,
So let's make it 5.
If it's just ob 4, then that implies that this tower's intelligence is an average intelligence of a human.
That seems
Which is
to
pretty.
match what Eric
If that's
said.
fine, if that's what it is, then fine. I'm just
Sure. I mean, I don't. Yeah. As far as
Okay.
ancient cyclopean technology goes, I feel that's pretty reasonable.
Cool.
Okay.
You
Fuck it, let's
designed
try
something
this.
that survives 10,000 years and has average human intelligence.
Look, I'm just trying to make sure that things are clear.
Yeah.
All right. My intent here is to take control of the tower in like every reasonable respect, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to bully this thing until it serves me.
Sure. And it comes out of this roll, right?
Yeah.
So the consequences of this, though, is that, boy, does it shut you out for good? Does it like just go into lockdown?
It probably does. Or
Yeah.
it does something where, like, maybe it kills me. I don't know.
Yeah, it might trap you. It might trap you in here.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? We're doing this. I am going to.
Yeah, it
throw
probably
a
traps
deeds
you
on
in
this
here,
barbecue.
dude. It probably
This-
traps you in here. Legitimately.
This is Deed Country USA right now. I'm going to spend a deed on my will. Because I have to. So I double my exponent for this.
Oh, I never wrote this out here. Yeah.
Still though. And I tap ferocity. No, I don't. I don't tap. Do I tap? The alternative is I die. Or I get trapped here, which.
Also
Based
bad.
on the rate you're going, you're gonna not be playing Mason in 2 sessions, man.
I mean, luckily there are only so many tests I can earn at the end of the session, but I mean, God, fuck it. Okay,
Is what limits
What
the
do you
number of
mean?
tests you can earn.
let's see. I mean, my actions.
Yeah, but you've been
I
doing
mean,
a lot
I
of
count-
actions that are
I
really
count
bad.
5 so far, and if you succeed on that, that's 6.
Your
Your ferocity is literally just.
All right, let's see. Do we ferocity up? Fuck it. Let's. What was the up 5?
Yes.
We ferocity. So I am down to 1 persona. God help us all. So that's 7. That's 12. Okay, modifier of 12. Obstacle 5. Watch me roll all ones.
I don't know. You have been having insane dice.
Okay.
Well, you had 4 chances here.
I did it. Let's do that. Okay. Let's put some fate towards this too. None. Okay, still 5 over margin. 5 over margin.
So
how did this end up being a difficult test?
Because
Because all of that is Arthur.
because of doubling your Artha.
Yeah.
double with Artha, and then the ferocity counts as Artha.
So
I mean, it's not going to matter. Mason's not going to exist as a character in 2 sessions the way this is going. Like,
This is just so okay. Yes.
so obviously, so your ferocity goes up again, right?
Yes, it does. I have now. Let's see.
You were literally becoming a villain. Like, you were literally like that power. You feel the power of the tower like surging through you, right? And it feels great. Secrets are revealing themselves to you.
Definitely. And I like. How does this look in your opinion? Like doing this? I imagine something flashy, but my mind is set to anime right now.
Right. So I think it's one of those things where like you're near this, you're on this like raised platform, and you're at this console that's like way too big for you. But I think we have one of those sort of like, not necessarily Inception, but almost like the Tesseract in Interstellar style moments of the tower rearranging itself as it reconfigures for you. So I feel like the floor kind of gives way, except for the spots where you and Sir Zidamir are standing, and it starts falling down like in hexagonal or little like columns, right? As the rooms kind of like, you know, the camera spins around as this is happening. There's some like spooky ass music that's going on.
Huge, long drawn special effects.
Yeah, and it's just special. Yeah, exactly. We blew our special effects money on here, and everyone's like, "Oh, I was really hoping for a battle they would spend all their money on," but instead we get this. And but like, yeah, like, and the music, the camera's just like circling around you. Then all of a sudden, like, there's like lights, and so where you saw like the lights of the quasi map, you see things change. It almost looks kind of like the Game of Thrones, like this, like the map kind of awakens and gives you a little bit more of like it's like updating its terrain. Around outside, I feel like we like zoom out for a little bit, and like around like Karasuno, we see like the candle. There's a light on. Oh yeah, there's definitely a light happening that shines on Candemir Tower. Like there's like a lightning strike, right?
All right.
Then there's like another lightning strike in the distance. There's a lightning strike in the Gnarl Marches. Like basically any of these points of power, there's a lightning strike. And the lights that go from yellow go to green, except for that one in the distance that's still red.
I need to ask you something here. I want to do something that's not. I want to ask you something. These places of power were tied together in a sense by like elven dimensional magic, among other things.
Yes. Among other things.
Are you implying that I can move this tower between the points on the map?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because that would be crazy and awesome, but it's cool.
No.
All right.
I think we should maybe go to Swan.
I agree. This is like
so we're gonna
reaction shot and then what?
You are receiving.
Maybe Swan sees the tower.
You get a message.
Get lightning struck.
You get like an alert on your screen, and you can tell the origin is that red circle.
All right. We will discover what that warning is
later
after we have cut to Swan.
Yes.
Eric, I want to go a little sideways.
Let's do it.
Based on my belief about not doing violence and then doing some dueling.
Yeah.
And it kind of tangentially relates to my belief about finding a general. I would like to contact my relationship, Emma the Black Swan, and have her meet me at this pub in Miven. I want to talk to my sister, man. My former sister, ex-sister.
Sweet.
She's as dead as Dimitri, Antonin, Lucius, Sertova, missed a name in there.
So
Demetrius, Antonin, Lucian, Arsini, Sertova.
I missed Arsini. I apologize.
Okay.
Is she a relationship for you?
Yes.
Cool.
So that lowers the Abba the Circles test automatically, I believe.
It just makes it a not a circles test.
It's not a circle test. Yep. I mean, we know that she escaped to Miven after she took half the bandits with her. And I just want to sit down and chat about old times and maybe offer her a nice job and some pardons and some, well, I need a man killed.
She did cut someone's hand off. So
And tortured.
She's handy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. She's gonna meet you.
All right. Would definitely like to be at, like, if this tavern has multiple levels, I want to be at the looking over the water upper deck one, eating pasta while the theme from The Godfather plays. And all of my men are sitting at the other tables enjoying their meals, trying not to look like they're my bodyguards, even though they obviously are wearing my colors.
That squid ink pasta.
I don't think. Okay. Well, unfortunately, given your past,
Yeah.
I don't think she would agree to meet you in a place that has your bodyguards and your people in it.
All right. I mean, I assume she sends a
I
messenger.
feel like no one wants to do that with you anymore. Consider after the fourth wall, nobody is willing to do this.
What?
Like no one wants to meet you in a place where you have a bunch of bodyguards around. They don't in that way. Like they don't.
Always neutral ground. Always neutral ground.
I mean, we are a neutral ground. I'll tell you what.
It's not neutral ground when every single patron is in your pocket. That's not what neutral ground means.
I'll tell you what, Eric. The deal is, I keep Ironheart. She brings a bodyguard, and we meet and have dinner together.
Okay, that's fair.
All right.
Sure.
So I send my men packing.
Reasonable.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm just like, take your plates downstairs.
Right. Like they're not. Yeah. Okay.
The tab is on me.
Okay. Cool. All right.
I just want to point out that if you guys get in a fight, Einhard is going to get taken apart by Emma the Black Swan.
I'm going to get taken apart. I'm going to die.
We all believe, AP, you can do this. Be the hero we deserve, not the one we need.
So your sister comes in. You see, I think the most noticeable thing is that she has a she has a distinct smell about her. You can tell because it's her armor. It's made of troll skin.
Interesting.
That probably would smell pretty rank.
Wouldn't it be
sounds-
continually regrowing?
She treated it like no. She got the best they can to treat it, but yeah.
Emma,
so that's the smell.
It's been almost 6 months. Please sit down. Might I introduce Einhard Krashenko, my body man?
Oh, for a second, I thought I was going to be your lover. Nice to see you, brother.
Would that be a problem for you?
I'm your sister, and I just looking at you, I was like, I thought you should do a little better than that. That's all.
Oh no, I'm actually dating the bartender. He says it like it's a joke.
So I hear the Stonelands are treating you well.
I hear that Miven is treating you well. Is that troll leather I smell?
Oh, this whole thing? Yeah. She says
There
very
been
impatiently.
A lot of supernatural creatures this far south that you've been fighting.
She doesn't answer.
Well, Emma, I've come to a realization. As you know, I'm a person who doesn't particularly like using violence to accomplish what I need done. But I have...
Continue.
Look, Sam.
Just continue. I mean, just continue. It's fine. It's fine. Continue.
I have a great need for someone with your particular set of skills, I would like to offer you my apology, my pardon, and Abadar's dissolving of any crimes you might have, in exchange for continuing your work just on our behalf, the family's behalf. There are people out there, people who betray, people who lie and cheat and steal, and these people need someone to keep them in line, and I don't have time to ride out into the night and slay each one purposely. I don't have the time to torture them, make them confess their crimes. But I know someone who's very good at these things. Someone who could be my arm when necessary, my ear when needed, and my sword, the dagger, one might say the blade in the dark.
Oh my god.
All right.
I'm not hiring spy masters right now and chief assassins.
Yeah, she would make a great assassin.
I know. And I love that torture skill that she has, because I got this guy named Heinrich. Yeah, I'm literally just like slide over a portrait of Heinrich, and I'm like, this is Heinrich Edelman. I think the best way to test our relationship...
She interrupts you and just says, I know him.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Heinrich has recently offended God greatly, and the people of Miven, and me personally. I feel like a few days of horrendous and horrible torture with blood screaming effect before a messy expiration would be a perfect way to end his miserable life.
I feel like torture really isn't the Mivenese way. I'm going to need some assurances.
I'm not Mivenese,
you have my
and
back.
neither are you.
True.
Do it somewhere quietly.
You probably have a boat you could offer for that purpose.
You know, I've recently acquired a warehouse district.
I feel
Perhaps
like she's
there's a nice
changed.
basement somewhere.
I feel like this is not something she really wants to do. She's gonna need some more convincing here. To be your torture lackey just doesn't really seem that great, right?
I mean, you two don't really like each other, do you? Is that, am I wrong?
I know, this is very...
So, here's the thing.
Very mutual.
When I rolled this character up, the relationship wasn't hateful. But I gave Eric carte blanche to play the character how he wanted, and he turned her into, like, the bandit queen of the waste.
Cool.
And it went down from there, but I feel like we can still bridge the divide here. But, I mean, if she's hesitating, I want to say, what's the issue? What's holding you back? You didn't have any problem chopping off what's-her-name's hand back in the forest. I know it's Lauren Tall, but I just pretend that I don't.
Sure. Mary Swan.
Such an ass.
Just been kind of used to making my own way in the world. It'd be weird working for someone else again.
I'm offering you a lot of independence and a lot of authority and finally a lot of money. But more importantly, you can begin to atone for the crimes that you've committed.
Ah, there it is. Self-righteousness. No, thank you.
Are you sure? My righteousness isn't in question at all. I am offering you the forgiveness of Abadar. You might have heard that the prophet hangs around with me.
That's great. She doesn't care.
I'm literally just like, I'm not sure how you can consider me to be self-righteous when I'm asking you to help murder and kill people.
So she doesn't see a distinguishment. She still, like, she might have the god book. All right, so okay, let me do some character. Life must be so easy when God's will and your will are the same. Or really close.
Oh god, I wish Aurelius was there for that.
Right?
I think Swan's gonna take off his gloves and show his burned hands and display the palm where he's got the key of Abadar burned into it as well from when he was holding the holy sword, and just be like, to save the life of a small child, I was forced for weeks to cough up gold dust. I've been burned twice. Abadar continues to mark me. If you think being the chosen one of Abadar is easy, I would suggest that you are completely and utterly in the wrong, and that perhaps it is you who is acting in self-righteousness. I find it to be more of a burden, but one that must be necessarily shouldered for humanity. Just as I am asking you to shoulder this burden, that of reducing human life.
She hates the idea of working for you.
I
Like, you're
get
making
that.
really good
know.
points,
I
but she
know.
just really cannot stand the idea of
I understand.
how everything
Test.
is done for you.
Yeah, that sounds like dice.
Test.
Dice it. You have to beat her.
What's her will?
4, but I feel like this is probably +2 given the circumstances,
That's rough.
being
That's
an
rough.
enemy.
Don't make peace with your
What's-
allies, Eric.
What's the failure consequence?
Yeah. Oh my god. You have to duel her for it.
Oh, that's pretty damn good.
I feel like that's one I'd be walking away from for sure. I want to start with a controversial fork. I want to start with etiquette. For the simple reason that I'm not treating her like the bandit that she is, and more like the noble sister that she could be.
Sure. It's like she needs some assurance that you are doing that you would be a good person to work for.
Yep.
That doesn't sound as much like, and I'm sorry, AP, because I want you to have this, but it doesn't sound as much like forking etiquette to me, more like not setting yourself up for further obstacle penalty. Like, I am treating her well, therefore we are having
This is
this
happening.
conversation.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could technically sit down and treat someone like shit and still
Yeah.
attempt to persuade them that the
But
thing
that
that
would
you're
just
doing
increase
is in
the
their
odds.
best interest.
No, I mean, I think that the reason why it's etiquette is because Swan is using the wording and the phrasing and the actions that you would do to a lady of House Swan, as
Indeed.
opposed to just talking to her as a person.
There might be something there.
I want to fork haggling. She's not a lord, but she is a noble, so I want to fork noble wise. I think that might be it. I'm specifically not forking bandit wise because of etiquette. Oh shit, this is a really bad roll for me, y'all.
I believe you can do this.
That's what, like 4 forks?
Don't you have like 7 persuasion?
Yeah, but I mean it's ob 6, right?
Take that difficult test.
I don't need a difficult test. Oh shit, I do need a difficult test. If I take the difficult test, I go up to persuasion 8.
Sounds
No,
like you're good.
I really, really would love to have a spy master on my side.
One that you know is
Might be
competent.
nice. It might be nice.
I mean, I've pretty much determined that Swan is like about to start. Listen, I know people that are like, "Oh, Swan commits violence," but like he's literally only hurt like 3 people in 30 episodes. It's
It's a
about
pretty
to get,
good track record.
It's about to get a lot higher.
That's like my PUBG kill to death ratio.
There was also something about.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's so sad. That's so. Here, have a pat. There.
I mean, it's tempting, Sam, to do as you say, but I'm gonna try for overwhelming this. Well, overwhelming
Whoa.
worked. Holy shit! I'm gonna roll for those 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like Eric's definitely been paying his roll 20 dues lately.
Me? I feel like I haven't. I feel like you guys have. What the
Can you
frick?
thank Suzanne for all these dice hacks you've been enabling lately?
This has just been the you guys get everything you want for, like,
1,
everything
2,
you asked for
3,
session.
4. That's 10 successes.
I mean,
Not
yeah.
me.
Yeah, except for you.
I lost
Correct.
my best friend.
You did lose your best friend.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
You lost your best friend
You said best friend, not
to
wife.
a rival. Your rival now has control over an ancient cyclopean network of stuff, of arcane power, and now we have a new spy master. Yeah.
I want these extra
So-
successes to be like set in stone. Like she doesn't question the Count Swan intent anymore. Like
I know, no, of course not. So
He's-
like she got won over, but I'm still not sure what it is that convinced her over here, like to join you. So what is the revelation? What is the thing that you said, or the thing that she believes now that sold, that was sold to her that works?
I
You know what I mean?
It might be the fact that Swan is willing to do imminent and complete violence against faceless enemies, right? Swan's
I
been
think
very
So
resistant
she
to
doesn't.
that.
She's not.
I-
She doesn't want. Okay, I mean she doesn't any. She has no qualms with murder, but like her thing is like independence, and like wanting to be her own person.
Okay, so maybe
So-
all these
so-
extra flourishes are Swan being like, I don't even need you to work out of Karasuno, Miven, wherever you want, as long as we're keeping in good correspondence. I have a warehouse district. I'm sure that we can get you a nice basement somewhere to base out of, and just send me messages.
Mm.
Independence is yours. All I will offer is guidance. And then I'll slide over Edelman's picture. Guidance like this. You bring me interesting tidbits and I pay you lots of money.
That's a good way to segue into our resources maintenance.
All right, and so let's do our resource maintenance and then wrap up.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So when Zitomir files his expense report this season, I'm ripping that shit up.
So that test happened before now. That test happened a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's fair. So
You clearly have
this
never
is
worked as a consultant, Daniel. You never get your expense reports back within 2 weeks.
That's true. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
so here's the thing, right? Okay, so it's getting close to winter.
Yes.
Well, it's the middle of winter if it's December.
So there are some very fun options for failed tests.
Yeah.
For some of us, at least.
So failed tests will be bad for the town per se, I think.
You're saying the kingdom. You're saying if
kingdom.
I fail, things will
Yeah.
go badly. Okay,
Yeah.
just to be clear.
Shortages, that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
If I fail, I would like the cat to die. Sorry if you're in the
Fuck
chat,
you.
Casarise. Can we?
Fuck you,
Stop.
Mr. Mouser's a goddamn hero.
Mr. Mouser can't die. It's canon.
Yeah.
God damn
I'm
it.
just kidding.
I
Anyone can
need to steal that trait. I want to enchant something out of Mr. Mouser so I can't die.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. So let's talk about ops.
I guess
What you're
Yeah.
saying is there's more than one way to skin a cat? You're a monster.
Ha 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 ha.
You're a monster, Daniel.
I feel like Mason's op should be 1 or 2. They are like complete vagrant. They have lived in a tent they don't own and are traveling now with everything they own in the world.
Yeah, you have been kind of kicked out and working on your own, so that seems pretty reasonable. I'm
Don't
cool.
you
I'm cool
have
with an op too.
tools for sorcery?
What?
They never had to refill their tools or anything for it, so I think that's fine.
I mean, maintenance is taking care of tools, but that's fine.
It is, but like so it's about the lifestyle, right? Like if I fail, breaking tools is a
So-
good consequence.
Yeah,
No, but like if you have tools to maintain, that would be part of your lifestyle in the same way.
I
that
feel like
a knight maintains their horse.
Swan. I
And
feel
I
like
don't have sorcerer's tools.
I feel like
And
at
I feel like
minimum.
Swan's at a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say at minimum it's an 8 because that's like the industry. So like this is probably a 9.
Okay.
Probably a 9, yeah.
And then
Let's
next month will be,
reference
or
nine.
the next one will be even more difficult because that's like surviving the winter.
Okay.
This is like, okay, so over the course of that month, you ran out of supplies, and now everyone's mad, right? Like something like that. Like that would be next quarter that we're to be dealing with. But so let's do this now. So that's a 9. Sulius, what are you? Probably like a 4?
I mean, a 4 is a lord's manor. If anything, my lifestyle has gone down since
Yeah,
becoming a
that's true,
lord.
that's true. So 3.
I was making ob 3 before.
Yeah.
But I also, like, I wasn't joking. Like, at the end of the month, when Aurelius looks at his expenses and realizes that he needs to pay Zidomir, he's not going to. And that was my main expense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, upkeeping a knight.
Yeah, that was where the ob 3 was coming from. Because, like, literally all Aurelius has is, like, clothes, which Swan pays for.
Okay, ob 2 then.
And he hasn't even been using.
So I like how no one else chips in for running this kingdom. It's just entirely you, Swan.
That's fine. No, even the country that sponsored it didn't give us anything more than 3 warships. So
I would like
That's
to...
not nothing.
Remember, that's because they won't support you until you show you can support yourself. It's getting through this winter.
So I really need a routine test. So I would like to bless myself to hopefully succeed. So I think what this looks like is like as we see like Aurelius going through his like his expenses and stuff, he's like praying. He's like, "Dear Abadar, please allow your servant to do your will, to spread coin through the land, to pay those who have worked justly and rightly." And yeah, I would like to give aid dice to myself with an ob 4 test.
Okay.
good luck.
Cool. I'm not going to use the staff because I do need a difficult faith test. I will chip in a 1 persona point. And base op 4.
You can do it.
All right, I'm going to re-roll all those failures. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4,
You can
5.
still do it.
Survey says.
Holy shit.
Nope.
All right, I'm going to re-roll another failure because I can still do that with fate.
It's true. Come on.
Just need 1. Come on!
No!
Oh,
So, yeah.
What happens, if anything?
Been getting hit with a lot of bad costs for failed miracles.
This is bad karma.
For what?
You were so rude to poor Sidomir.
What have
He
you
was-
done?
To me.
What have you done to glorify Abadar and Karasuno lately?
I haven't been in Karasuno lately.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude.
So I feel like I need help. I need help what this should look like. I feel like this is God needs to tell you to get back on track.
Disadvantage. Some of his tools break anyway, despite whether or not he succeeds in the resource test. The faithful die or get sick.
God withholds the power of the staff until he performs some future
here's the
great
thing.
miracle.
Here's the thing. What if we tie this into not paying for Zidomir? I feel like it's like you have to honor your contracts.
Oh my god.
But
And
he
so
broke
you have-
contract.
So you
There's
have to pay like
a classic go-to would be to strike the priest with sickness in a show of displeasure on behalf of the god. Like, you remain sick until something. You make reparations, foolish man.
God. How shitty would that be? Is you have to be sick until you pay for Zidomir. That might be good. What do you think? Is that worth it for a failed faith?
Feels pretty harsh to me, but I'm willing to let everyone else make the decision.
I
What do you think,
actually,
AP?
I'm gonna stand with Sam here and say no, specifically because Abadar is literally watching this knight throw his armor off and go have sex with the dragon lady. Like, Zidomir is not their favored son right now. I'm thinking.
Okay.
I feel like and this is me, like, this is my own cynicism shining through here, so excuse me for putting a bit of myself into the game. I feel like in a world such as this, like, a god would be self-centered enough to have demanded that Aurelia start the apocalypse, right? Like, purify this place because I hate it. And then afterwards be like, you started the apocalypse, what the fuck? You suck. Like, that's not what I want. So maybe it had something to do with that. Be like hating on Aurelius for starting the
I
apocalypse.
want to point out, this is a low-ob miracle, and I've never once had a situation where Eric didn't punish me for failing a miracle.
It could also just be the silence of God, but yeah, I feel like
I got it.
Yep.
You ready? The lepers that he cured come down with a sickness. It's not leprosy. It's not like life-threatening, but all of them combined get some very obvious and rare sickness.
Oh, yeah.
They all come down with Brevoyan tunnel fever or something, and everyone's like, "That's weird." All of them get it at the same time.
what if?
Yeah.
I like that
Your
idea.
servants
AP.
getting sick is good.
I don't mind that. But Sam brought up a good point here, and that is this is like penance for a failed small miracle that was asking for help to do resources, right? I don't know if that should matter, but yeah. Anyway, it could also be.
Well, look, I'm gonna make a decision because I want to keep moving forward.
Sure.
God doesn't answer you.
Cool.
Go.
All right, well, let's roll resources. So Ob2, I've got 1 die fund. Let's see what happens. If I succeed on this, my resources advance. If I fail,
And
It's really
it doesn't, or what?
God fucking.
Is it a 6?
Oh my god!
It's not a
no.
6.
Tax.
Yeah, so the trading post is gone.
All right.
I
so,
mean, the profits from the trading post are gone.
I mean, Oleg's trading post ceases to be a fund. Right, whatever that means. That's basically
I'm
up
building
to
a
Eric.
castle there now, so
Yeah, maybe that diverts resources and the thing just has to shut down. I don't know.
I mean, being profitable and shutting down are two very different things.
But that makes sense. I feel like then we might have a complication that we have to resolve next week about Oleg's trading post's progression.
I can't catch a break this week. Holy
No,
shit.
everyone else, like Mason is like, hold on, let me just roll 8 successes on 8 dice, and you're just like, I can't make an opti test. Just how you could. Sam, you have some really bad burning wheel luck. You also in the one shot you the other day with AP, you couldn't succeed on a test either.
I know.
Yeah, you have some Eric level luck.
Sam, what Eric is saying is you are the best burning wheel player in this entire group. You understand this game to such an extent that you fail to roll successes because that's just the way the game rolls. Mm-hmm. It's great. Good on you.
Cool. Yep.
Well, let's see what's next.
Well, I guess
Go ahead, Mason.
I should roll.
Go ahead.
I am
you
an
immediately
Op2
lose
test.
control of your tower when you fail your resources test. You can't maintain it.
Again, this test is from like a couple of weeks before, so
Yeah,
let's
that's
see.
gonna be really expensive next cycle.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's
Because
not though. It's been
You're
around
not just
here without
maintaining the
maintenance for
tower,
1,000
right? You're
years.
also maintaining all of the little satellite towers out there in the world.
I'm going to make a
I feel like
hell
that's
of
like
an.
Ob9.
I'm gonna make a hell of an argument, like grabbing Eric's fucking shirt and be like, Eric, you gotta listen to me when I argue that the tower has been around unmaintained for thousands of years, and
Didn't
Yeah,
it literally have a bunch
It's
of
self-maintained.
holes?
Remember,
It maintains
you turned it
itself.
on.
Yeah.
thank God,
You turned it on though.
it was already on. It was already on. I have just changed the proprietor of it.
I wouldn't let this doesn't modify your resources.
Much obliged. But okay, let's see. So anyway, I'm going to use my fund. I'm going to put the championship race ponies on the line. We're also going to spend a cash die just for funsies, I think. Yes, that's what it's going to be. And here, actually, no, fuck it. Fuck the cash die. I need my gold. I'm going to put the race ponies on the line.
You're like, I'm gonna tap ferocity for this resources test.
I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna. Up to. Boop. Bad
Okay.
luck, though. I mean, let's put fate into that
More
because we can.
sixes.
Nope. All right.
Okay.
I'm so salty.
Swan's gonna call upon the Mountain Hold of Gems, and his 3 cash die and his affinity for business to give himself 6, 7, 8, 9 assisting dice versus Op 9. That's not good to start with, but I'm obviously going to double check my paperwork. So what's happening is Swan is just like paying all the bills, and then he's like, wait, I'm having a vision. Abadar wants me to double check this line of paperwork. My God, I flipped the signs. And so he gets to roll 9 more dice.
These should be
and
filed
then
in
you fail,
triplicate.
and you fail, and it's like, this is even worse.
It's like, Abadar wants me to redo this thing.
The
you
sign
pulled
was
out,
right
it's
in the
like a-
first place. Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
hella succeed so bad. And
Holy shit.
actually, I get one more in there because I forgot that I was spending fate on the first 6.
Green.
So I got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 successes.
Yeah, okay.
Can
You're fine.
can I spend a whole shit ton of successes to reduce the time of this test to be like a matter of hours? Like I just go through my paperwork. I'm like, done. Whoa! Done.
Yeah, I mean,
AP,
that's good.
dude. You should roll a fucking like re-roll all those 6s.
I did.
Okay.
I did. I open-ended that.
Yeah, that's open.
That was open-ended. I just went ahead and
Wow.
spent the fate while I did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that's so good though.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was really good. I mean, I have more
Alright.
successes than I threw dice at the problem. So
damn, Swan just continues to crush those finances. So
Yep.
good.
Okay,
Swan frees up a couple days.
cool.
So filled with salt right now.
I
It's
know,
like-
buddy. Remember me at the end of last
Let's
session?
do-
I was
alright.
like, "Fuck."
Experience.
This is the resolution of the plot we never saw exist, right? That was like these like Ollie being like, should we go and do something? And Swan was like, no, I'm busy doing important stuff. And then,
Experience.
drama.
Experience.
I
Arthas.
Arthas time.
totally want
the time.
Persona for my belief about
Violence.
apologizing to the Mivanese people.
Yeah,
and resolving
Persona
it
for sure.
without
Yeah,
violence.
yeah.
Because I'm gonna be resolving
Fucking-
a lot with. I'm literally gonna be like, here's my hit list.
I know.
Sister mine.
So that's why you got it for now. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I want
let's see.
fate for responsible to the people.
Yes, for sure.
And I would also like to take.
We weren't in
the-
Karasuna enough for Dianora.
Yeah, I know.
And
I don't think I got either of
Nothing
my
of the
other
general.
beliefs.
No,
Nope.
no, that's okay though. Okay.
I want to take character trait for what's the one? Free? Wait, do I not have free anymore? I don't see it here.
I don't think you do.
I mean, I had free for the longest ass time. I don't know why I don't have it.
It's a Garvian trade, right?
Yeah, that's. Oh, did we make it revolutionary? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
We
All right,
Yeah,
I
that's
feel like
right, that's
I
right.
definitely acted toward free, but not revolutionary. More nobles killing
Yeah.
other nobles is
Free trade. Nightbeard already knows. He's like, yeah, turn the rebel. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Perfect.
Yep. That's all I got.
Solius.
I'd like Persona for my belief in regards to Mason.
Yes.
folks.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah.
Fate for my first belief about how Skywatch is useless, because that was the whole thing. That was like, I need to get out of here now. It's time
Yep.
to
And
go.
we got into trouble. Yeah. Fate. Working towards it.
I believe that I earned fate for my belief about creating new scripture.
Yeah. I was gonna say. Okay. Good. Yep. I believe. I'm there with you.
I believe that I earn fate for either my divine
Mandate.
or
Mandate.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then
There with you
I
on that one?
believe that my devoutness probably got me into trouble.
With Zanimir as well as Mason. Yeah.
Yes.
You're in no trouble with me.
And I'm going to argue that my faithful trait got me into trouble here. Oh, wait, no, it didn't. It specifically didn't. Never mind. All right, we're all set then. Oh wait, profit trait? Nah, it's fine.
No, we're
It'll be
good.
fine.
Cool.
Cool. Okay. Mason.
All right. First and foremost, I take Persona for my third belief.
Yes.
I have assumed control of Skywatch. It is mine. I don't think I take Fate for the other two or Persona for the other two.
No.
Just didn't have. I got a knight instead. I'm okay with that. The instincts though.
He's not a knight anymore. He's just a guy with the sword.
I mean, he's still a knight, so
Just broke his oath, throwing his armor off and renouncing his faith.
that's
Your
not how
instinct?
that worked. But yeah, instincts though.
Instinct. Do you think your third instinct got you into trouble?
Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah, I definitely do.
So.
Yep.
Okay. Pay for that.
I also think I take Fate for Risk Taker.
Yeah. For the traps and stuff. I think, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking like for being like, oh, I can do this. Like I can. I want to take control of this tower because that's like a thing I want to do. I know it's risky, right? But I want to do it. And then like a bunch of trouble flowed from that I then had to overcome and eventually had to bully the tower to something.
And you also got that warning thing for doing it, so we're gonna see what that is next time. So
yeah. So all right.
Cool.
And then I think I take Fate for any one of Luminous Eyes or Crown of Horns for Sisamir being like, no, fuck you, like you're ugly. I'm scared of you, and having to deal with that shit. And I think that's it. So
Nice.
1 Persona, 3 Fate.
Cool.
Let's do Steel and Ferocity.
Yep.
Did we have any steals? I mean, maybe some sort of steel test for seeing the monstrosity that is Mason.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was thinking steel test for Swan for getting stabbed.
Oh, that should be one for sure.
Swan only received Swan received a light wound, right? So yeah, that's totally a steel test.
Is that a challenging steel test?
No,
'Cause
it's
that's what
just
I need.
What's your steel
6.
and what's your hesitation?
No, that's not how it works if you're not rolling it. There's the passive ops, remember?
Right. That's what we're doing. We're doing passive stuff.
So,
Getting stabbed.
witnessing real bloodshed and gore, fighting a duel to the death, participating in a nightly tourney, or being stabbed. Op 4.
Okay, so I get nothing out of it.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I don't think I mean, there's not like a direct one for seeing a person who's halfway turned into a monstrous dragon. So I think, Eric, you just need to decide what that obstacle is.
It's probably hovering in 5. The 5.
I was gonna say 5. I was gonna say my eyeballs say 5.
All right, so that doesn't do anything for me.
Your
Let's
eyeballs
do
often
ferocity then.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I don't think I earned any steel.
I wrote some ferocities down.
Yep.
Suffering an insult twice.
Definitely. Actually,
Possession
it's
of a horde once.
I only think I saw it for an insult once.
Okay. Take possession of a horde. Covet another's wealth.
Did I take possession of a horde? I totally
The
did.
tower.
Yeah, I totally did.
Coveting another's wealth, and then scheming to obtain power at the expense of a friend.
When did I covet another's wealth?
That was when you tried to take over the tower the first few times before you actually did take over the tower.
That
All
is
of your
definitely
failed tests.
coveting another's wealth.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yep. Okay.
Scheming to obtain power at the expense of a friend.
You also
When?
willfully
I did
committed a falsehood.
Oh yeah, that's
I
true. Stole
did.
Saitamir.
I did not scheme to gain power at the expense of a friend.
You literally
Yes,
were like,
you
"Come with
absolutely
me,
did.
Sniped Saitamir.
There's Others
No, I didn't.
are-
No. I didn't. Saitamir had left. Like Saitamir was leaving. Right? I was like, no, I know you're with Aurelius, but come be with
I
me.
think-
He was
I think
Your
walking out.
argument was literally like, they
Yeah.
don't see the good in you.
But that's
Come
not
with
at the-
me.
I was
Hold on. As this
what I was
slighted
doing.
party, I think I should be able to break the tie, and I know for a fact that when Sulius hears what happens, he's going to feel massively slighted.
that has nothing to do with it. Like, well, how you could feel slighted that I was putting the oven on, right? Like your character's perspective of this is not what matters. It's what is actually happening, and that's definitely not what happened. There was no scheming to like obtain power at the expense of a friend. Au contraire, you were sending a brave warrior away from the fight. I was keeping him in it.
No.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, at the very least,
least,
you schemed to obtain power at the expense of Zidomir.
Who is totally not a friend.
I think that you're. I don't know about
that.
Eric, you want to break the tie here?
Eric, you should break the tie.
It's okay. This is a hill I'm willing to die on.
It's ferocity. It counts.
Okay.
It totally isn't, but okay.
Then also lying and
5
committing
more?
willful falsehood.
That's
Yep.
6.
So that is.
And then also all the tests that you had from tapping your ferocity.
Was that another 4? That's 10.
No, that's 3.
Right.
I've already added those. So.
Are you already a dragon now?
No, not at all.
So
not
for
even close.
Basically, all of those count for advancement, right?
No, yes. So some of them count for advancement.
No, all of them do.
No,
It's
some
like
of them do.
greed.
Yeah, exactly. Only some of them count. So
I mean, I'm pretty sure Greek
This
literally has
was-
a line that says test count for advancement, just like.
let me spell it out how this works for you. So you have a lying to commit a willful falsehood, suffering an insult, coveting another's wealth. All of those are routine tests. So mark those down for routine tests. That's 3 routine.
But you don't need routine to advance. And
What?
it
No.
literally says all tests are to advance.
Right. So it's when you fill 2. It's when
Yeah,
you
so
get
when-
4 routine and then fill another. It's 2. If any of 2 get filled.
Yeah, precisely. And then there is the challenging tests, which I have marked a couple of.
Shit.
Then you have take possession of
Too
a horde.
difficult.
Yep. Nope. I need another difficult, which I didn't get. So in a difficult test, I advance.
Hold on. Because that sounds wrong.
You only marked 3 new tests, right?
Because you had you had 2 challenging and 1 difficult from tapping, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because 5 versus 5, right?
Yeah.
So you only need 2 difficult, and then you had a challenging, so that should advance.
What?
Well, what do you mean? What? So oh no, it's 3 difficult, 1 challenging. Never mind.
Yeah. I need another difficult to advance, or I need another difficult, or I need another routine.
Yeah, that'll be quick.
Yep. It absolutely will.
Okay. Cool. That's it then, right?
What about characterization?
Hold on, I found another one actually. You stole what you coveted.
What?
The tower?
No, that is already taking possession of a horde.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Okay. You said characterization, AP?
Yeah. I feel like Aurelius played the part of a very insulted man.
Oh yeah.
today.
Yes, and it did not work out well for me in either case.
So embodiment?
I'll gladly take that.
I think you should take embodiment for that. I felt that.
Yeah.
I feel like we should do a trait vote in like a session or 2.
Yeah, I think
I'm
this
cool with
trade
that.
time.
Trade times. Sure.
Should we just assume that Aurelius gets back to Kurasuno after the month?
Yeah, that's fair.
That? Okay.
Mhm.
So wait, are we jumping 1 month into the future?
Probably.
Episode?
Somewhat.
We're
We
gonna
have
have a
the
trade
result.
vote
Yeah,
next episode,
we have the
so-
okay, yeah. We just do a trade vote. Okay, cool. Easy.
Sweet.
So, let's do some outros then.
Wait, I'm confused. I just want to jump back to this. Are we moving a month into the future, or are we doing the trade vote first?
We're gonna do our trade vote first.
All right, just making sure because I get
Yeah.
Persuasion 8 at the end of the month.
So cannot wait. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. AP Gaming Real.
Yeah.
Who are you? How can people? What do you do?
I mean, I'm on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at AP Gaming Real. If you want to see more of me role playing, you can't because I'm always playing the villains in the back. Oh wait, that's what I do here. So I guess if you want to see more of me doing that, go to the places I've listed.
Yeah. Cool.
What about you, Sam? How about you?
If you want to see more of me failing to roll dice high and consistently failing everything that I try to do, you can find me at twitch.tv/wizandcool. I'm probably not going to be around much next week because I'm going to be traveling for work. But I'll be back Friday, so we'll see what happens there. You can also follow my Twitter exploits at TheWizandFool. And hopefully fairly soon, I'm going to have a cool cartoon picture of me like the rest of these people because I've been talking to the excellent artist Saito. So keep an eye out for that.
Cool. And Daniel.
Hi everyone, I've been Daniel. Really not much new to report from my end of the woods. Starting some Blades in the Dark, still playing games on Twitch, still using Twitter on at Daniel Akbas. On Twitch it's /Narin, Nearin. And I'm playing some role-playing games and have my friends playing role-playing games on my YouTube channel, Charisma2AC, youtube.com/Charisma2AC. That's what's happening right now. It's moving slowly, but it's moving deliberately. So,
Yeah, cool. And I'm Eric. I'm EricVulgaris on the internet, and I do role-playing games like this. Join me in 2 hours over at Henley's channel where I'm jamming Mouse Guard tonight. So that's fun. Super excited to get back into more Mouse Guard. I love Mouse Guard. Some people were writing on r/RPG about Mouse Guard, and I was like, this is my moment. I love talking about that game. So, yep. I'm going to also put up my YouTube videos for my game yesterday, Olympus Overdrive, which is a sprawl game. That's the first session. That's going to go up there. So then we'll be good to go. Other than that, I think we'll be back next week. Next week's not PAX, right? No, it's not. Okay. So I think we're good. So that's it, guys. Take care. Good episode. Sorry, Sam, that you failed all your rolls. I mean, it happens.
don't be sorry. It's the game. It's fun.
It's okay. Okay. Take care, guys.